It's the Stadio Moningo in Treviso for this clash of Benetton and Munster, the rearranged round 5 game. And there's the Benetton side. They have 5 players returning from the Italian preparing Six Nations squad. Among them Rosa in the second row, Brex, Allen and Brayley in the 9, 10 and 12 shirts. And they are looking for a first win of this Pro 14 season. 9 defeats so far against a Munster side, of course, who were defeated by the slimmest of margins against Leinster last week, but they have 8 wins and just 2 losses, 38 points, lead Conference B. A late change for them. Roman Salanoa, who was supposed to make his Pro 14 debut, is unable to start, injured in the warm-up, and that means that Stephen Archer, who comes in to the number 3 jersey, it was his birthday yesterday, 33 years of age, and onto the bench comes the very experienced John Ryan, of course, an Irish international. And Munster make their way out to the Stadio Moningo pitch, led by Billy Holland, his 239th Munster cap. The 35-year-old, amazingly, not the most experienced club player in the 46 on show today. That goes to Alberto Scarbi, who'll be making his 244th Benetton cap if and when he's introduced to the game a little bit later on. So Munster, well, they've not lost in Italy since 2013, and Benetton, well, they've not won at home in any competition since December 2019. All the statistics heavily favour this Munster side on the trip to Italy this evening. There's our referee, Andrea Piardi, his 11th Pro 14 match. And Alan Falzone is the television match official, who no doubt we'll be hearing from a little bit later on. Tommaso Allen, as I was saying, one of the 5 players released by Italy back to this Benetton side. Allen, along with Brayley, Brex, Rosa, and the front row, Riccioni, will rejoin Franco Smith's Six Nations squad after this game. Of course, Italy playing France next week in Rome. But we're underway in this rearranged round 5 game in the Guinness Pro 14. And it's Benetton in their usual green predominant strip against Munster in that away strip. No sign of any red, black and some yellow trimming. Is Nick McCarthy, the Munster scrum half, gets the ball away. Jaden Hayward is the man to gather. Hayward not in the Italian squad, now 33 years of age. He's 27 international caps, the former Waikato player. There for Brayley. And Munster, 13 changes from the side that faced Leinster last week. We'll try to settle into their patterns. It can't be an easy preparation with so much change. And then, of course, Salanoa coming out of that front row after some problem in the warm-up. Taken on by Finian Wycherley, one of 2 sets of brothers playing for Munster today. Josh and Finian Wycherley starting for the first time together. Of course, Rory and Niall Scannell in the side as well, as Benetton ripped that ball, but it's illegal at the breakdown, and it'll be an early penalty to Munster and allow them to get some territory and possession early into this game. Tackle had been complete, said the referee. And so it's an opportunity for Ben Healy to probe the touchline on that far side. Interesting to see how Healy gets on this evening. Hanrahan, of course, in the number 10 jersey. Last couple of weeks, Healy, so much promise from the young man, 21 years of age. He's 57 points in the competition so far this season. There's Niall Scannell, Munster's hooker. As Herbst looks on to try and figure out where this one's off to. Scannell with the first throw to the line out of the evening, and it's taken by the imposing figure of Jack O'Donoghue. And Munster look to go to the maul, but Benetton have set themselves really well defensively. Munster getting no change out of the first couple of seconds of trying to get that momentum, and Nick McCarthy's looking for the ball now because Munster not really making any ground at all. Taken on by Rory Scannell set up for McCarthy, and now Holland on the charge around the corner, put to ground by Ignacio Brex, Argentinian-born, who's in the Italian squad, of course. Gavin Coombs, who can consider himself unlucky not to be in the Irish squad for the Six Nations, the first iteration of that squad. It's a long competition, little kick over the top. Where's this one off to? And it's going to be grounded, I think. Well, Darren Sweetenham is latched onto that one, and I think on first viewing that's going to be awarded as a try. It should have been dealt with by the Benetton defence. Hayward watched it, comes off his knee, and then it's grounded. Hayward points to say it was in touch, but no, it wasn't. And Darren Sweetenham gets the first try of the evening. 2 tries against Benetton back in 2017. It's taken him just a couple of minutes to add to that total. And that, I'm afraid, all down to the mistake of the experienced Benetton fullback Jaden Hayward, who really should have dealt with that and didn't. And Sweetenham alive to the opportunity, and in Munster go. Taken on there by Liam Coombs, and the little pop kick over the top from Haley saw what was on, but you can see 1, 2, 3 Benetton players in the picture. They should have dealt with it, they didn't, and they find themselves behind their posts. Oh, Jaden Hayward will have nightmares about that one. So then, opportunity for Ben Healy to add an additional 2. Not an easy one, and it just swings left and wide. So Munster will do with just the 5, but after approaching 4 minutes almost, they have a 5 points to 0 lead. Perfect start for Munster, and for a side like Benetton that are struggling so much with their confidence. Well, it couldn't have got off to a worse start for them. Last game for Benetton 3 weeks ago now, when they took on Zebre, lost. They lost both the derby matches against Zebre in the last couple of weeks, losing 22-18 and 24-15. That one is almost gathered by Sweetenham, and eventually over the line it goes, and it'll be a throw into the line out for Munster. 16, 17 Benetton players, in fact, involved in the Italian squad of 32 for the Six Nations. It's an unsettling time for all squads with so many senior players away, but particularly the clubs that don't have that depth, and Benetton one of those. Munster 10 players in Ireland's Six Nations squad. They've rested a number as well this evening. Look at players like Damien De Allende on the bench tonight. Also JJ Hanrahan, Tommy O'Donnell. So much experience, quality for Munster to call on should they require it tonight. McCarthy, it's that kick away, former Leinster scrum half. It's knocked back on the Benetton side. Brayley to Hayward. He'll be doing everything he can to make up for that mistake. Benvenuti, Tommaso Benvenuti, 62 international caps on the wing for Benetton tonight. That's better from the Benetton backs, and it's taken on by Ignacio Brex, former Argentinian under-20s, Italian sevens player, but again, enough for the first time in the opening 5.5 minutes. A whistle blown by Andrea Biardi for the infringement at the breakdown. Munster over it on their feet, and the referee penalising Benetton for not releasing. Tackle from Sweetenham, over it went Coombs, and once he latched on, that made the referee's mind up. Of course, Benetton announcing significant change in their coaching ticket for coming months and the new season as well. Marco Bortolami will take over as the head coach. Paul Gostard's new defensive coach. Andrea Massi, 95 caps for Italy, the new attack coach. So all changed for a Benetton side that had hit some highs a couple of years ago, but have dropped off and are really struggling of late. Just the 4 bonus points, as I say, in Conference B so far this season. taken again by O'Donoghue, and around the corner Munster come McCarthy, little pop pass off to Sweetenham. This time he's put to ground and Benetton into the, well, they go in, they come in from side, and it's advantage to Munster as they made their way into the Benetton 22, but infringement at the breakdown again, and Munster have it once more. Coombs and then Healy, and the floated pass offering the opportunity for Benvenuti to come onto it, but they had a free play, they knew it, they could take a risk, no advantage accruing, so back will go for the penalty at the breakdown. It was Esposito, I think, who came from nowhere, and in at the side was the penalty decision, as Mike Haley you're looking at there. That was, but here it is, there's the breakdown, ball set, yeah, and Esposito on Billy Holland. Marco Borbini, the Benetton captain, trying to settle his troops. They have been rocked in the opening 7 minutes of this game, and they're under pressure again as Ely goes to the line, and another opportunity for Munster to attack from here.
It's fine.
Scannell. In the hooker goes to take the back of a maul that's retreating at the moment. Benetton again set themselves well for what they knew was coming. McCarthy taken on by Scannell, and over it was Brex screaming for a penalty, but they don't get it on that occasion. Then Munster make the mistake at the breakdown, and it is back on the Benetton side, and they're considering running it out of here. Here's Hayward with the kick downfield. Healy well positioned. In fact, it was Esposito who made the clearing kick. Healy sends it into the night sky, chases his own kick. That's a fair competition. Halafihi comes away with it, and then it goes to Riera, but it's intercepted out wide by Liam Coombs, and Coombs pops it back inside, and McCarthy's away, and Munster are almost going to get there. They have got there. It's Scannell. Niall Scannell in for Munster's second try. And after 9 minutes, the Munster men are running a bit of a riot, intercepted by Liam Coombs and popped back inside. And once they got in behind, well, McCarthy had time for the on-rushing Scannell to find his man, and in for the second try of the evening go Munster, and they are in complete control. Far too easy for Munster, and this could be a very, very long evening for Benetton if they don't sort themselves out. They gifted that one again. Having said that, once Munster got a hold of it, they did really well. McCarthy with the break and Scannell on his shoulder. This one, a far more straightforward conversion attempt for the out half. Should be an additional 2, is an additional 2, and Munster, after 10 and a bit minutes, lead it by 12 points to 0. Good work by the scrum half. Defence, Allen made the tackle, but nothing that anyone could do with Scannell coming at that pace. Underway again. Sweetenham claims the restart, and after it goes Zuliani, the open side, who's 20 years of age, graduated from the Italian under-20 side into this senior Benetton team. He's played well in a couple of games against Zebre, was one of the standout players for them, but
use it. No, it's not out.
It's very much in retreat mode for Benetton so far in this game, and Munster full of confidence and happy now to throw it around a little, and they force Benetton back again, almost up to the halfway line. We'll go with this one. Benetton will have the advantage of the throw into the line out, but they need to get a hold of the ball, and they need to run some patterns and just settle themselves into this game.
So apparently to be please, thank you. Yeah, don't close it.
Alan Braley,
Don't close the gap, please.
scrum half for Benetton in the Italian squad, born in Bristol, of course, England under 20 in his day. 26 years of age now, 4 Italian caps. Here's Baravale, Argentinian hooker, and just about held on to by Federico Rosa.
Second. Stop.
Up it goes from Tommaso Allen. Plenty of time for Haley to gather and pick his man. And away goes Goggin. In fact, it's Liam Coombs, apologies. Coombs was in the centre. Little kick in behind this time. It is Goggin, and again Munster deep inside Benetton territory, and all too easy. There's Clote. It's a clap on the back from Archer, and Benetton have taken this one quickly. And Hayward with the clearing kick, and it relieves the significant pressure on Benetton for the moment at least. Here's Mike Haley. Haley runs into the tackle of Rosa, but it's there for McCarthy. Options both ways. Healy and Scannell. Goggin. McCarthy once more. Real zip in what Munster are doing. Archer, Healy. McCarthy, and then Healy once more. Sweetenham gets out of the first tackle. He's put to ground. Scannell, Holland, Healy in the pass. Just got away from the hand of Josh Wycherley, so advantage being played to Benetton, and boy do they need it right now. That kick finds some space. Haley's going across. Ball pops up nicely for him, and the full-back with the kick, but at last Benetton have a foothold in Munster territory, and they'll get possession through the throw into this line-out. Ball in play, plenty in this opening 14 minutes, and 1 or 2 bangs and bruises on both sides. What a start for Munster. If you're joining us late, Darren Sweetenham after 3 minutes, big mistake from Jaden Hayward defensively, who allowed a ball to bounce behind him, and Sweetenham was the one to latch on to it. And then Niall Scannell on 10 minutes, 2 tries, one of them converted by Ben Healy, and that's where Munster have got their 12, and they've been utterly dominant in this game so far. Munster, of course, top of conference beat, lost last week to Leinster. It opened the door momentarily for Connacht to close the gap, who were in second place, but they couldn't take advantage of it. Connacht losing to the Ospreys at home last weekend.
Numbers, Torizo.
So then we'll resume with this throw to the line out for Benetton on the Munster 22.
So black open, please. Open, thank you.
Thomas Baravale finds Barbini, and Benetton go to the maul. It's a maul that is diminished in its impact this season. Was a fantastic weapon for them for a couple of seasons, but they became very one-dimensional, and teams figured out how to defend them. And once again, this time it doesn't get any momentum, but the kick behind, and it's gathered, is it? Yes, it is, by Rory Scannell, and they look to turn defence into attack, and Munster are off and running now from their 22. Don't keep the ball in hand, kick downfield, but there's no one there for Benetton, and Hayward goes tearing back to try and get there. Esposito there. Haley is the first Munster man to arrive, and from one 22 line to the other, Munster find their way down into Benetton territory. And Scannell wants to get on with it quickly. Well, Benetton managed to turn this one over, and it's there for Brayley. Back to Allen, and it's half charged down. It was the hand of Ben Healy. It stopped that kick, and it's there for Munster. McCarthy, well, his kick is charged as well. Both sides need to just mind the ball for a moment. McCarthy back on the Munster side. Here's Holland and Healy. And now Scannell and Goggin, and from Goggin to Haley, and then out to Coombs. Liam Coombs out there on his own. Tackle comes in from Benvenuti. McCarthy. Holland runs a decent line, but the scrum half holds on to possession. And over it go Benetton.
Right, first man on the ball.
And they've done well. Benetton get the turnover. Penalty for Benetton from there.
Right, first man on the ball.
Just not enough Munster players in support, isolated for a moment, and it's a penalty for Benetton. Down the field it goes. They'll have the throw into the line out, and it really is one end to the other at the moment. Not a huge amount of control from Benetton, and Munster may be guilty of just forcing it a little bit on a couple of occasions in the last 5 minutes, but they're full of confidence and they feel they can do anything.
The ball was out. Hey, you changed the ball. That's why.
Here's Baravalle, and it's down from Rosa, now in the arms of Allen. Hayward had to readjust. Sweetenham gets to him, taken on by Riera. And Munster win the turnover again. Lots of penalties at the breakdown. More in favour of Munster, but referee Clare went to ground. The release was good, and then no problem with Cloete going for the ball. Made the tackle. Well, you have to say on the evidence of that, it wasn't a clear release of the player before he went in search of the ball, but the referee was convinced it was enough, and Johan van Graan looks at his notes and he's got to be happy with what he's seen. Healy's kick, well, not exactly conventional, but it does what he wanted it to do, which is fine touch. Just giving the old hamstring a bit of a rub there. Maybe a slight strain for the out half. Is Niall Scannell readies himself to throw for Munster. Call comes from Josh Wisherley. Nick McCarthy, the scrum half, at the front of this Munster line out. But Munster go towards the tail.
Put it down. Okay.
Trying to get that maul rolling. Neither side have been able to do that so far this game. McCarthy, Scannell, Healy, and Haley gets the ball away to Coombs. Liam Coombs put down by Nacio Brex. McCarthy will dig it out. Ben Healy waits. Scrum half looking for it once more. It's there, and now from Holland to his second row partner, Wycherley. Healy, little kick in behind from Goggin, bounces back on the Munster side, then it's hacked through, and once more Hayward is trying to save the situation. Benetton full back as he secured possession. Looks like he might have. It's an arm wrestle down there. Baravalle gets a yard. Munster not quite as strong a defence around that pillar as they would have liked. Benetton trying to play themselves into a position where they can kick with a bit of conviction, and it's there for Brayley now. Forward comes Ben Healy, and he should have done better, and he'll know it. Just took his eye off it, with one eye on what was advancing from Benetton in terms of a tackle. He had plenty of time, and it just got away from him.
Volendo c'è opzione, mischia o touche. Quindi, opzione. Ok, quindi solo mischia. Scusate ragazzi, solo mischia, portata fuori dopo l'avanti. Quindi TMO mi ha corretto. C'è un avanti.
First quarter's flown by at the Stadio Domenico. It's round 5 clash originally scheduled for the weekend of the 8th of November.
Shoulder.
But as so often has happened in this league and every other league in every other code, there have been COVID issues. Thankfully, this weekend an opportunity to catch up on a couple of games. Remember, of course, the Scarlets and Leinster 7:35 kickoff for that one. Strong scrum from Benetton, rock solid. And Allen gets some good clean ball. Pass will find its way to Benvenuti. Around the corner comes Esposito in support of his wing colleague. Allen. Halafihi, he's a precious little opportunity to carry the ball. Toha Halafihi. Dynamic player if he has any sort of forward momentum, but Munster have stopped Benetton in their tracks and do so again, and the kick is really the only option. And it's kicking possession away, and Healy will eat that one up all day. Or Haley, I should say. Allen. This time it's Healy. And we're going to play a bit of foot tennis. Knocked backwards by Braley. Allen sees some space in front of him and takes the ball up. Hit by his opposite number. Braley then to Halafihi and up quickly to make the tackle. Really good tackle was Finian Wycherley. Riccioni in midfield, hit behind that gain line. Braley almost caught in possession. Here's Herbst.
No, fit black.
Braley eventually gets it. Allen sitting back in the pocket again, and the decision to kick possession away. And Healy has all day. Finds touch outside the Munster 22. Last time these sides met was back in 2019 in the quarter-final at the peak of Benetton's resurgence, and Munster winning it by 15 points to 13. JJ Hanrahan with a Munster penalty, a monster Munster penalty. The difference between the sides on that day, but what a difference the intervening 18 months have made. Baravale then. And Munster weren't moved by all the movement in the Benetton line-out. Jack O'Donoghue watched it all the way, slaps it back on the Munster side, turned over by Benetton, and to compound the issue, there's a penalty.
With the shoulder, you didn't close the...
And a bad situation just got worse. Marco Riccioni, the prop forward, is yellow carded. Straight decision from Andrea Piardi, happened right in front of him, and no hesitation in making the decision. Difficult to see definitively from that angle of replay, but the referee right on the spot and had no hesitation. And Benetton down to 14 players until the 33rd minute of this game. And from the penalty, Munster find themselves inside the Benetton half, and now Healy and taken on by Gavin Coombs. McCarthy's looked lively, hasn't he, at scrum half, almost away again. Had Cloté on his shoulder, just couldn't get the pass away, but Munster advancing once more. Liam Coombs. Tackle made by Bogbini, and now it's Gavin Coombs runs into Halafihi. Better defensive set from Benetton. Healy, Holland. All action from Billy Holland, the 35-year-old, looking very sprightly, but at this occasion, at the breakdown, it's Munster's turn to infringe, and up with it will come Borbini, the captain. Lots of penalties given away at the breakdown by both sides. Went to ground, over the ball they were, and referee was happy. Borbini on his feet. Well, after a dreadful opening 10 minutes for Benetton, they settled into this game a little bit more comfortably. Having said that, down to 14 players now, and they will be for the foreseeable. Dan Goggin receives some attention. Concern for him. Damien Dialande, of course, on the bench, the South African World Cup winner. Should they require a change at centre? Doesn't look great for Goggin, does it? Not sure they're even going to be able to give him an opportunity to run it off. Doesn't look like he can take any weight on that right ankle. Referee across to assess. He's going to give it a go.
Time on.
We'll resume with the line out and Thomas Baravalle. Variation at the front. Tommaso Allen gets some front foot ball, which Benetton haven't had much of in the opening 25 minutes. Out it comes to Esposito. Numbers arrive. Braley digs it out. Baravalle tries to find a way around the onrushing Munster defenders. Herbst pops it away. Braley. And Brex puts the head down. He's put down by Rory Scannell. Braley again holds on the scrum half. Cloete makes the tackle, but it's there for Benetton once more. Better from the Italian outfit, taken on by Balbini. And there for Rosa now. 5 meters short of the Munster line. This is the best passage of play that Benetton have put together in the half by a considerable margin. Baravalle, Braley, Allen, little pass to Hayward. Esposito's out wide. Can he get there? Sweeten him with the tackle, but it wasn't enough. Angelo Esposito is in for 14-man Benetton, and having had a horrid opening 10 minutes, they've found a way to bounce back. Allen, Hayward, and just as Sweetenham arrived, Esposito burst through the tackle and grounds the ball. All 6'2" and 16 stone of the winger, used to good effect. Great strength. Sweetenham just couldn't get there. Touchline was so close, but on that evidence, he just about stayed in play. And the television match official, Alan Falzone, I think has given the okay to the referee. And Esposito and Benetton have their first points of the evening. Tommaso Allen then with the conversion attempt, wide out on the right. On its way, but it's just going to go across those posts, and it'll be just the 5, but a relieved 5 for Kieran Crowley's Benetton. Are on the scoreboard. It looked like it could be a very, very difficult evening after 10 minutes to be 12 points down, and even with 14 players only on the pitch, they found a way back. 12 points to 5 in Munster's favour. Underway once more. Good chase from Liam Coombs. Benetton pinned inside their 22. Rosa has it though. Braley will find its way to Baravalle. Scrum half again. Allen deep back in that pocket. Here's Mike Haley. Halafihi completes the tackle. McCarthy and Ben Healy. Scannell and Goggin, who seems to have run off that injury when it looked like he was going to be going to the bench. Knocked forward from a Munster hand. It's back on the Benetton side. Advantage being played to Benetton. And remember, down to 14, but they've found another gear. And this one may, and it does, pop up for them. Halafihi, was it knocked forward? Slightly. Okay. But slightly is good enough.
Snock on green.
Much, much better from this Benetton side. Back on their side from that breakdown, and from there was real purpose in their passing, and the lines that were being run. Munster just stood off it defensively. Of course, there's going to have to be a change with Riccioni in the bin. It's a scrum, and it means into the game will come Tiziano Pasquale. And it's Zuliani who's sacrificed the open side. Another 4 minutes or so on the sin binning of Riccioni.
Okay.
First it was Goggin, now it's Scannell, but he seems okay to continue as well. And we'll resume at the scrum. The knock forward from Benetton, and they were looking very dangerous indeed. Munster will want to reimpose themselves on this game. Dominant opening 10, and for the following 20, well, it's Benetton down to 14 that have outscored them.
Boy! Set!
McCarthy, the ball pops out of the back of the scrum, and Healy did well to take that pass as he slipped. Hayward, long pass and a dangerous one from the fullback, who's normally so solid and reliable. He's playing like a guy who is having an off day, to say the least. Once more, kick from Hayward, but this time he's taken out as he looks to follow through. And Holland turns around to suggest it might have been milked a little. But the tackle was high on Riera. And then Holland just shut the door alongside his second row partner, Wycherley.
Ok, un'ostruzione, qua torniamo, calcio. Sì. Puoi scegliere sia lì che qui. Sì, un'ostruzione dopo il calcio, quindi Alan. Giusto, quindi dove rimbalza? Perfetto. Ok. So, it's obstruction of the kick. It's penalty where the ball lands.
So 2 infringements, 1 the high tackle, then the obstruction after the kick of Hayward, so the penalty from where that ball landed from Hayward's kick. And that's where Tommaso Allen will try and find a decent touch from. And Benetton find themselves up at the Munster 22 as we head into the final 10 minutes of this first half. Stephen Archer, if you again joined us late into the side for Munster when Roman Salanoa injured himself in the warm-up. We're looking forward to seeing Salanoa, the Hawaiian-born American football playing prop forward, was supposed to make his debut for Munster in the Pro 14 tonight, but not to be. Brayley and Allen, and a little show and go, and he almost got away. Brayley.
It's not tackle, play on, it's not offside.
Brex straightens up. So much better from Benetton, up to the 22 now. Little pop pass back inside again, and here's Halafihi. And they're making ground with every carry. Josh Wycherley makes the tackle, but
No, you cannot play.
Munster.
You cannot, because you asked me to stop.
Well,
Number 1.
An infringement at the breakdown. Wycherley made the tackle, Josh Wycherley, but then didn't roll away quickly enough, and that's where the penalty came. And Benetton grow further in confidence and an opportunity to have a kick at goal if they choose, and that would give them 8 points down to 14 men, and that is some return. Yeah, Munster just got very, very loose since they took that 12-point lead. And I've no doubt that Johan van Graan will be giving them a very stern talking to at half-time, because this game was completely within their control, and you felt at 12 points to nil. They were just going to run away with it, but Benetton, to their credit, have stuck at it and found a way back in, and now have the penalty to reduce the arrears even further. That's what faces Tommaso Allen. It's as straightforward as it gets, and he adds an additional 3. And in that 10-minute sin binning, Benetton have found 8 points after 33 minutes. It's Benetton 8, Munster 12. And Benetton back now to the full 15, which means Pasquale will make way. Riccioni will come back into the front row, and Zuliani, who was sacrificed for that front row substitution, is back in the game as well, and it's 15 against 15, and we've about 6.5 minutes to go to the break. Ben Healy, Halafihi is the man to gather enough for the first time. It's Liam Coombs who's first to arrive. Balavale caught just behind that gain line. Back it'll go to Tommaso Allen. Not the greatest of touch finders, but it's well outside the 22. Throw-in will be Munster's. That was Chris Cloete on Tommaso Allen, and Allen felt it was late. And the television match official, Alan Falzone, is having a word.
Okay. Vogliamo vederlo? Mettimelo sullo schermo.
Arriva, te lo faccio vedere.
The referee is going to go over and have a little look at this one. Cloete will say he was committed, but on that evidence you feel he might have been a little too committed.
Okay. 7. It's late after the kick. So, no. It's late, it's clearly late. It's only a penalty on the 5 meter where the ball lands, okay? It's the second of these signs. You must improve, okay? Thank you.
Well, he could shake the head, but you can see on the evidence of what we saw, the television match official and the referee have got that one right, and it's an easy let-off for Benetton. It's a cheap penalty. And now Munster, instead of being between the 10-meter line and the 22 of Benetton's, find themselves back in that position in their own half. 5 minutes left in a first half that's pretty much flown by.
Black open, please. Thank you.
Baravale down from Herbst, and now Allen and Munster make the tackle on Riera in midfield. Gallo, wearing the scrum cap, the prop forward, takes it on a yard further than you thought he was going to get when he initially had it, and he smuggled it away to Baravale. Allen, nowhere to go. Hayward. Esposito, the try scorer in the 27th minute, gets almost that pass away again. with Riera on his shoulder. Didn't go forward, says the referee, so on Benetton go. Brex, and they have men out wide if they can shift it, and Zuliani just about gets it away, but Munster get the players across. Popped up for Benvenuti, and they're playing a bit of sevens rugby now. Benetton into the Munster 22. That one is knocked forward, just forced a little. They had Munster chasing shadows for a couple of moments there, and the confidence is definitely running through the veins of this Benetton side, led by their captain Barbini. Just forced that a little, and it wasn't very sympathetic. Not much Ruzza could do, and the slightest of knock forward, and Gallo was stopped in his gallop.
Okay, let's go.
From a side that looked shell-shocked and clueless after 10 minutes of this first half, it's Benetton, despite the scoreboard, despite being down to 14 for 10 minutes, who have been very much in the ascendancy with ball in hand for the last 20 minutes or so.
Crouch! No, both of you. You move back. You were early, okay? It's both players, okay? Both team. Calm down, go boys, thank you. Great. Hold the pressure. Wait.
So then after a game of it's not us, it's them, we'll reset the scrum.
Boy! Set!
Benetton really trying to put a squeeze on there, but Munster survived that and then get going forward themselves, but those front rows went down, and the referee's just going to say a slip, and we'll
otherwise I have to reset it.
We'll reset.
Ball was at the back, that's why I asked to use it, but he didn't use it, and it's our set. Okay? The same outside.
2 minuti.
Ok, elbow up, Liga, non sulla spalla, ok? Crouch! Boy! Set!
Ready to go again.
Verde, stai su, lavoro con la legatura, 3.
Both sides trying to make a point with that scrum, and it's Munster who come away with it. Scannell, Rory Scannell that is, in midfield, and it's there for McCarthy, and Niall Scannell clapping his hands saying give it to me, and he gets it. Goes to ground, and in to make the clear out is Wycherley, but it's too late.
Number 3, first man.
And Riccioni is the man who'll be credited with the turnover, and Munster just shouldn't have let that happen from that position. They were in control, they had the numbers there, but they didn't sort themselves out of the breakdown. The tackle from Gallo, and then once they went to ground, referee was happy that Riccioni was legal, and Munster, despite the efforts of Finney and Wycherley, it was too late, and the penalty there. And the last action of this first half will be a kick at goal for Benetton, and an opportunity to reduce the deficit to just 1 point, which, on the evidence of the first 10 minutes, is remarkable.
Sì, adesso è finita. Adesso.
On its way from the out half, looks good, it is good, and it is just a 1 point game at the half. Who would have believed it after 10 minutes? Tries from Sweetenham and Scannell, one of them converted by Ben Healy, gave Munster a 12-0 lead, but back came Benetton, try from Esposito, 2 penalties from Tommaso Allen at half-time in the Stadio Domingo. It's Benetton Rugby 11, Munster 12. You won't want to miss the second half. Back live at the Stadio Domenico, and it's a 1-point game, and Munster will wonder how it's a 1-point game, having started so brightly, so sprightly, having rocked Benetton back on their heels and raced into a 12-point lead. It's 12 points to 11, and there's no doubt there's been some harsh words in that Munster changing room at half-time, because they were sloppy and they weren't accurate in what they did, and there was a lack of zip to their defensive effort in particular that allowed Benetton a foothold back in the game. And remember, that foothold was taken with 14 players, with Marco Riccioni in the sin bin. They scored 8 points in that period to bring it from 12-0 to 12-8, and then an additional penalty just before the break makes it 12 points to 11. And all of a sudden, a game that it looked like it was locked, sealed and delivered after 10 minutes is anything but as we head into the start of this second half. Niall Scannell, all the experience, 20-odd times cap for Ireland in the hooker position, looks on. Munster will get us underway at the start of the second half. And, well, we say it so often, the momentum of the next score could be crucial in this game.
Black is legal.
As Munster kick possession to Benetton, and it's the men in green who will start with the ball this second half. Callum Brayley
Stay 8.
to Allen, and the ball is not a particularly good one for Riera, but he gets back and gathers and gets a bit of forward momentum. Again, Munster just a little slow to that one. You would expect this Munster side, despite the fact that there are 13 changes from the side that played last week, there are players here getting their opportunity to make a point, and there is a lack of pace in what they're doing. As Tommaso Allen sits back in the pocket and pings it downfield. It's watched by Mike Haley, one of the players that did play last week against Leinster. There for McCarthy. Billy Holland. Rory Scannell in midfield. Tackle comes in from Herbst. And they've gone after it again at the breakdown. And they've turned it over again at the breakdown. And Munster learn nothing from the end of that first half and start the second half in exactly the same way, turning the ball over at the breakdown, and the penalty is there for Benetton. Over it went Barbini, and the captain wins the penalty. Munster just not protecting the ball. And well, might Nick McCarthy clap the hands and try to buoy the troops, because Munster are flat. Credit to Benetton, they've seen that and they've capitalised as best they can, and there is a confidence about them that has not been for many a day. They've just played poorly, they've lacked any sort of comfort in what they're doing, but in this game so far there's been a bit of zip about them. Brayley, Allen, Hayward, who started so poorly, gets the ball away to Benvenuti. Hayward guilty of gifting Munster that opening try after 3 minutes. Gallo, and still Gallo. And he places the ball back with precision. Halafiki, the more you see him carry, the more trouble Munster will be in. Allen, Herbst, Brayley and Allen again. One way, then the other from Benetton, keeping the ball alive. Munster's defence dragged one way, then the other, but no real territory gained by Benetton. Through the phases they continue to go. Allen with a little dink over the top when he saw Munster rushing up, but McCarthy covers that and gets the pass away to Healy. And the kick downfield from the out half, Hayward in a decent position to deal with it. attention required for Gavin Coombs. Will have been really disappointed not to have made that Irish Six Nations squad. Remember, 10 Munster players in it, and Coombs, standout player for Munster this season so far, 6 tries, part of that, and unable to get himself into that squad. No doubt his day will come. Ready to resume then. Throw to the line out with Niall Scannell.
Fine, ready.
Scorer of Munster's second try in the 10th minute. Not clean ball by any stretch of the imagination, but Munster have just about held on to possession. Wycherley. McCarthy now. And it's Josh Wycherley this time, and he's held up in the tackle by Barbini.
Use it!
McCarthy very clearly going to the box kick. Hayward waits, watches, and gathers. Clote there. Brayley, Halafihi, Holland, 1 of 2 to make the tackle on him. Allen goes back in the opposite direction and gets the kick away, but right down the throat of Mike Haley.
Let him play, let him play!
Brayley and Haley. Holland, the one to profit. Munster through Clote. He's hit by his opposite number, Zuliani, and then after it goes Barbini. But this time Munster do protect the ball better. And in behind is the kick from Ben Healy, and that's altogether a bit better from Munster. Although the throw into the line-out will be to Benetton, it'll be on their 22 and they're not hanging around. They don't want to hold on to that defensive line-out. Instead, Munster switched off for just a moment and gave them the easy ball, which they then kicked downfield, and Haley will eventually gather, and that pass, oh, well, there in the last 20 seconds is Munster in a nutshell today, and this one isn't over.
You are in front
They get field position and turn off for just a moment, allow Benetton to take the quick line out. They manage it downfield, and then Mike Haley, under no pressure at all, fires a pass over the head of Sweetenham. And all of a sudden, Munster go from the Benetton 22 to just outside their 22. As Gavin Coombs goes for HIA, they have the experience of international Tommy O'Donnell on the bench, and it's O'Donnell who'll come in.
Yeah, time to come now.
And we'll resume with a line out to Benetton, and Thomas Baravale taken by Barbini. In midfield is Halafihi. Big man is wrapped up quickly by 2 Munster tacklers. Baravale. Better defence from Munster first up. Now Allen. Watched all the way in behind. Hayward, great hands to hold on to that and get the pass away to Benvenuti. Brayley again. Gallo, good soft hands from the prop forward to take the tackle and get the pass away. Allen, Brex, then a little gap opens up for Brex, and then the pass, it's a terrific one, and Barbini sort of flings it, but it finds its way to Esposito, back inside once more, and Haley grabs a hold of it, but then knocks it forward, and Brex latches onto it, and Benetton come flying, come tearing into Munster, and on they go. Hayward stretching Munster one way then the other. Halafihi comes back inside. Big man that played for the Hurricanes for Taranaki gets Benetton well inside that Munster 22. Gallo is put to ground. Munster are defensively set again, and they need to be, because Benetton are throwing everything they have at them. Still possession there, but slower ball, and Baravale says, I'll go around the side. Tackle from Josh Wycherley.
Use it! Stay, full.
Halafihi dallies for a moment, and O'Donnell makes life difficult. Allen comes around and then fires the pass out wide, but Benvenuti had come inside, and into touch it goes, and Munster breathe a hefty sigh of relief as Benetton dragged them one way, then the other, got in behind from the effort of Ignacio Brexit. There was some wonderful handling in there. Esposito somehow got the ball from Barbini, and you thought for a moment that they were going to cross for their second try of the afternoon, but Munster did enough in their scramble defence to hold firm.
Time is correct.
And not surprisingly, there are some players looking for a bit of attention as the Munster Brains Trust, led by Billy Holland, try to grab a hold of the situation. Just remember this is a Benetton side. As you watch that, what a pass. Well, it was maybe a bit more in hope than in anything else to Esposito, but it was Haley, I should say, who got in there. Really good work from Brex originally, and it found its way out to Esposito, and if that had gone to the hands of Rosa, you feel that Benetton would have got in. I was about to say, remember, Benetton have not won at home in any competition since December 2019. And Munster have not lost in Italy since 2013, and there is a ways to go in this match. But Benetton are not giving this one up easily when you thought they might. Allen, plenty of time to survey the options. The decision is boot to ball once more. Hayward will go chasing this, but plenty of time back there for Mike Haley. Allen again. I feel the two of them could do this all evening. And eventually it's Munster that go for touch, and a quick tap on the shoulder from Haley to one of the forwards to say, pay attention, don't let them take it quickly. They've done it on a couple of occasions, Benetton, this evening, where they've taken a quick line out and found some field position far too easily because Munster weren't tuned in. Tommaso Benvenuti, last cap for Italy back in the Rugby World Cup of 2019. That was the face of the captain, Barbini. They go towards the tail. Not sure that was altogether straight, but the referee in a better position than I am to judge it. And Benetton go to the maul. Badavale at the back, and a little bit of change out of that maul for Benetton. They want to keep going. Well, Badavale wants to keep going, but Brayley says it's gone down at the front and we need to use it. And it goes from Brex to Riera, and the kick in behind the onrushing Munster defenders, and it's a really good kick, and it pins Munster back inside their 22.
So green on the line, green on the line. No.
Munster will have the throw to this line out, but you know that Benetton are going to try and put a bit of pressure on as Josh Wycherley gives Niall Scannell the call.
Just back. Stay there. Stay there.
That one didn't go according to plan, but Billy Holland did really well to stretch and just do enough to get it back on the Munster side. Esposito, who carries forward. Brayley, Halafihi up quickly to make that tackle was O'Donnell. Allen, Brex. Centre has had a big impact on this game, second half in particular. Gallo, this time not allowed to get the pass away. It's Archer who makes the tackle. And Benetton just trying to change it up and keep Munster guessing. Saw the on-rushing defence once more, got the kick away, but it was dealt with on this occasion by Munster. And then into the breakdown, and Benetton compete once more, but it's back for Ben Healy. And the referee blasted a whistle.
Full green, taking the man without the ball. It's penalty.
Penalty against Herbst for a tackle off the ball. Halafihi receiving some attention.
Okay. Taking the man without the ball. Time off. Time off.
Oh, you can hear the scream.
Okay. Numero 2, 4, cambio. 2, 4.
Real concern for Toa
One
Halafihi,
black, one, number 1.
27-year-old, in some pain. Baravale makes way, and in comes Cornel Els into the hooker position, and also into the game comes Ellie Snyman into the second row. Halafihi does not look comfortable. He was the one that went in and twisted in the tackle. And it's the right knee that's causing him the problem. There is Cornel Els making his debut today. Former South African under-20, has arrived in Benetton, 27 years of age now, South African. Makes his debut, and that's a sorry sight to see. Halafihi having to make way. He was coming more and more into the game, carrying the ball, and you can see significant discomfort. I think he's looking for someone a bit bigger to help him off. Shouldn't laugh. So Giovanni Pettinelli will come in for Halafihi, and Snyman into the game as well in the second row, just waiting for confirmation to see who's gone, whether it's Ruza or Herbst. We resume with the penalty for the tackle off the ball by Herbst. Munster's Ben Healy fires it into touch. They will get the throw to the line out. And that's Giovanni Pettinelli wearing 20. See, Jeremy Lockman has come into the game for Munster wearing 17. Around the corner comes McCarthy. Good tackle from Pettinelli is his introduction to the game. O'Donnell tries to carry. He's put to ground. Healy, and then Liam Coombs off his wing. Into the 22, Munster go. McCarthy, here is Lockman. First time we've seen him since October, Jeremy Lockman, and advantage being played to Munster. And an opportunity to have a little go maybe, and try and create something. Here's Goggin. Healy throws himself in. Little kick from McCarthy. He knows the advantage is there, and that one's going nowhere. So we're back to where Lockman carried. It was a penalty at that breakdown, and Munster will have that penalty.
To replay on the wrong side, didn't go away. Munster. Boys. Post.
And Munster are going to have a go at the post, and it tells you a little bit about where their headspace is right now. Another evening you might have seen that one go to the corner and Munster to go after 5 or 7, but they feel the need to take what's on offer right now, which is 3, and would extend the lead to 4.
On their ball, on you.
More changes coming on both sides. Pasquale will come into the game. Changes to come in a couple of moments, but first we kick a goal from Ben Healy. Strikes it firmly, strikes it true, up go the flags, and Munster stretch it out. It's Benetton 11, Munster 15. And Gallo does make way, and Quaglio comes in for him. There he is. Nicola Quaglio, 14 times capped for Italy, so plenty of experience. Both Quaglio and Pasquali, the prop forwards on the replacement bench for Benetton, far more experience than the men that started, Riccioni and Gallo. So it shouldn't weaken the Benetton cause at scrum time in particular. Tackle from Els, and the ball there for Munster.
Inside. Use it. Stay on side.
McCarthy's kick. Hayward readjusts and gathers. Almost gets away, but back to the safety of numbers. Bettinelli. Tackled by O'Donnell. Should be there for Brayley. Takes it out, and Allen, as so often, goes to the boot. That one, not a particularly good kick from the out half. And we're going to get to a bit of foot tennis again, are we? Healy. And Allen. Your serve, Soasso.
13, stop.
That's a good kick over the head. This time, the ball is kept in hand by Tommaso Allen. And the tackle is made by Archer. Els takes it into contact. Brayley's looking for it, he's found it. Barbini. And that's good. Somehow Ruzza's come away with it, and Benetton have an opportunity. Brayley on his shoulder, and he's looking for support. Callum Brayley, and support arrives, and it goes through the hands, and a real opportunity for Riera, and Riera's almost away, but O'Donnell does enough and makes the tackle. Still it's there for Benetton.
No, 5.
Slow ball. Munster should have their defensive line set. Els tries to take it through the middle. No change there. Brayley will dig it out. Riccioni carries. There for the scrum half again. Zuliani can't find any advantage there. Brayley once more. Benetton in a terrific position. Can they capitalise? No, they can't. It's forward from Brex on the tackle from Healy. And for once in that position, Benetton didn't look like they had the plan. And it was easy for Munster to defend. And it's back with the out half, and the job will be complete. Well, somehow Federico Ruzza found himself in a little bit of space in the second row, having ripped it there. Well, in fairness, he did well to find Brayley, but the support was slow to get to him. Eventually, it went through the hands, and just there you thought that Riera might get away, but O'Donnell did the job that was required. And after that, the attack from Benetton sort of ran out of steam as Callum Brayley is called ashore. Luca Petrozzi comes in his place. Brayley off to Six Nations duty, and that performance tonight won't have done him any harm at all as Munster ring the changes, as we knew they would. John Ryan, late call up to the squad, comes in the front row. JJ Hanrahan takes over from Ben Healy. And Benetton go to their maul again. An advantage being played, and an opportunity to have a free roll at this, and the maul is the weapon of choice. They continue. Petrozzi at the back, and he has it. He's a live wire. All action scrum half is Petrozzi, who finds Bettinelli, and it's there for the scrum half again. And Riccioni thought about the pass but did the right thing and put the head down, suck in a couple of Munster defenders. Change for Munster and hooker as well. O'Byrne is in, Niall Scannell is gone. Petrozzi. Benetton, again the belief growing in what they're doing. Barbini, the captain, is snaffled to the ground. Petrozzi though, as Brex comes on a hard line, but he's put down. Ball still there. Ruzza Was it forward? I think it was, but we're going to come back for the advantage, and it's against Jack O'Donoghue. And Benetton will have the penalty.
Number 6 from side.
That was the end, and there was no advantage accruing as it was knocked forward in the hands of Raza. What's the decision here? Do Benetton take the kick at goal? It's not a guaranteed 3. You feel that Allen, and he is going to go down the line. Sweetenham is gone. Dialande is in. So in come Dialande, Hanrahan, O'Donnell, Ryan, O'Byrne. In a lot of experience for Munster coming off that bench. Could it, will it be the difference as we head towards the final quarter? With Munster just having a 4-point advantage. Remember, it was 12 after 10 minutes.
Okay, time back on.
Els, the replacement hooker, doesn't find his man if his man was intended to be in that line out. It went long. 5 meters short of the Munster line. Little pop off to Snyman. There from Zuliani. Just a couple of meters short now, Benetton. Looking for their second try. Rosa. Holland desperately trying to hold them up and create them all. And if they have created them all, then Munster will turn it over. And that's a really good defensive effort under significant pressure from Munster. A big show when they needed it. Led by the experience of Billy Holland. On second viewing, I'm not sure that wasn't intended, although they did put a man in the air. It was Brex coming from deep the centre to take the ball, and it looked like they might get in behind Munster once again. Change coming as Leonardo Sarto comes into the game. Also a change in the front row. Confirmation that Pasquale is in and Riccioni makes way. Sarto in for Esposito. The experienced Leonardo Sarto, 35 times capped, comes in. Riccioni with a shake of the head as if to say, not my day. And when you combine the yellow card with 1 or 2 penalties he gave away, he'll head back to the national squad ahead of the Six Nations. Probably not thrilled with his performance tonight.
Boys. Start from the basics. This is the mark. Left on the mark, okay? Let's go.
All change in the front rows.
Stay there. Okay, stay there.
O'Byrne, Lockman, Ryan in that front row. Now for Munster, Els, Quaglio and Pasquale for Benetton. Scrum half still the same for Munster. Nick McCarthy. Change, of course, at 9 for Benetton with Petrozzi there.
That side, both of you, pre-engage, okay? As I said,
remember, start of a double-header in the Guinness Pro 14 this evening.
Okay.
After this, it's off to Parky Scarlets for the Scarlets against Leinster. That one, a 7:35 kickoff. But a lot to be decided here still at the Stadio Domingo. 4-point game. Benetton anything but folding this evening in this first hour.
Time off. Both of the team. Again, without space, no scrum. If I have to reset 10 scrum, I reset 10 scrum. I want space, okay? Let's go.
If I have to reset 10 scrums, I will. Please don't give a free or a penalty.
Stay there.
And let's get on with it.
Crouch. Bind. Set.
Oh dear, oh dear.
Hey. You and you. Come here. First off, perfect. Now, many issue with the stability. You must stay straight and not move before the feet.
Two international prop forwards getting a lecture from the referee.
Okay?
Keeping the scrum straight and true.
Crouch. Boy. Set. Stay there.
Get it in. No. But we do get a free, and that brings that
Almost nothing. Then
sordid attempt at a scrum set to an end. Unless, of course, Munster opt for the scrum, which they don't. Hanrahan will fire it to touch, and it'll be a throw to Benetton.
Open. Boys, open. They give you the number.
Cornelius then down it goes to Petrozzi and into the midfield, and the pass from Riera goes out to Sorto, and Sorto fights off the first tackle and the second, and on he goes. Leonardo Sorto makes ground when it didn't think he could in midfield. It's a tackle on Els, but Benetton hold on to possession. Allen trying to move the ball around, keep that Munster defence moving from one side to the other. Sorto again is called into action. Petrozzi will find it, but Munster's defence should be set from here. Els again, along with Sorto, second carry for both of them in this passage of play. Rosa has got good hands, the second row, really does, as away comes Barbini, and not for the first time he pops a pass off when it didn't look likely. Petrozzi, scrum half looking for it, finds it. Allen, Hayward, Riera, and holding on to it at the second attempt is Bettinelli.
Stay back.
Barbini, Lockman the first to arrive and make the tackle. Dialande makes the tackle on Pasquale. Benetton eventually decide little chip over the top is what's required. Munster deal with it though. Possession effectively just kicked away there. O'Byrne, and the ball knocked free by Ellie Snyman in the tackle. Referee says knock backwards rather than a knock forward from a green hand. McCarthy, the box kick, and Hayward will watch and make the pass. And somehow Petrozzi digs himself out of the first tackle and gets to the safety of numbers. Ellie Snyman carries. Snyman, Zimbabwe born. Hayward.
Stop, 20.
Riera with the kick, and that one I thought was going to go out in the full, but in the end it's a super kick, and I think that Haley has brought it in, and it'll be a throw into the line out to Benetton. Well, I'm not sure that Mike Haley was fully tuned into that one, because the kick from Riera bounced plenty in field in the end. Could have let it go, and in the end just picks and stands up, walks over.
Let's go to Rizzo.
Wasn't under enormous pressure, probably could have seen that one out. And it's given possession in terms of this line out to Benetton. 4-point game. 14 minutes left in it, and when Munster needed a big play, they got one. I think it was O'Donoghue who got up in the air and steals the ball from Benetton. They needed that, Munster. And McCarthy back to Hanrahan, and the exit is complete. And Benetton have tried to get on with these quickly all night, and they've done it again. Here's Hayward. Dialande comes up to cut off the opportunity to go wide, so back inside comes Benvenuti. Lots of traffic over there for Barbini to try and navigate. Pick and go was from Bettinelli.
Six offside.
Offside against O'Donoghue and Munster. So advantage being played. Benetton can take a risk here. Hayward shuffles the ball on and it's knocked forward by Benvenuti. Will go back for the advantage against Jack O'Donoghue for being offside for Munster.
Number 6, never onside before tackle, okay?
This is the end of it. No advantage accruing.
Number 6 offside, never onside before tackle.
More running repairs for Dan Goggin. Took a heavy blow to the leg in the first half, but did well to recover from it. And it's the right hand now. Kick from Allen. Pretty acute angle, but he's done well enough. He believes he should have got more, but it's inside the Munster 22. Last time they were here, they threw it to O'Donoghue. This time, they need to find their men. This is the time when the confidence is questioned, and Benetton, well, they're lacking in lots of confidence. They've played well in this game. Can they find another gear and get themselves over the line and maybe lead this game going into the final couple of minutes? Change for Munster into the game comes Thomas Ahern. It's Wycherley that makes way. Ahern, all 6'9" of him, the 20-year-old, into that second row. Els finds Snyman. And Benetton's maul starts to inch forward. Didn't really get any change out of it in the first half. A little bit in this second, and that's okay, but they need to make sure they retain possession, and they have. And away with it comes Petrozzi. Scrum half needs support.
Stay back, stay outside.
Ball is there. And it's with Rosa, who's really put himself around in this game. Federico Rosa will have done his chances of playing for the national squad. No harm at all in the performance of tonight. Els there for Brex, one of the star men for Benetton. Here's Riera, his centre partner. Petrozzi, great service from the scrum half. Allen's almost through, almost squirmed his way through. Petrozzi, and then Zuliani. Munster up quickly, and they shut off the opportunity. Trying to milk a penalty, Benetton, don't get it. Dale Andy makes the tackle on Pettinelli. Rosa again. Petrozzi. Hayward with a little pop off, and they're going to get there again. Oh no, Benvenuti doesn't ground it. How did Benvenuti not ground that? Terrific effort. Was it Haley who got across to make the tackle? But with the line at his mercy, Tommaso Benvenuti, the vastly experienced international, just couldn't find a way to dot it down. Terrific work from Mike Haley. They had their opportunity, they worked it so well, but the execution at the end was blundered. Was that it? Was that their opportunity? No question about the outstanding defensive work of Mike Haley, but no matter how many times you look at that, you wonder how Benvenuti didn't score. Another change. Zuliani goes, and the very experienced Alberto Scarpi, who's played in the centre and the back row for Benetton, comes in for cap number 244 to see out the final 10 minutes of this game.
Sì, allora teniamo tutti le spalle fuori, chiedono la stessa cosa a loro e stabilità, ok? Andiamo. Ok, stability. Okay, stability, no pre-engage. It's important now, okay? Let's go.
Now, after all that, we'll resume with the scrum.
Left. Stay there, stay there. Happy. Spalla. Crouch. Bind. Set.
Inside the final 9 minutes. Benetton 5 meters away, 4 points down. Can they find a moment of magic? Hayward goes scampering off. He has support. Back inside. They're over. Sarto with the try. Benetton leads in the Stadio Domingo. And if there was a crowd here, boy, would they be on their feet. 12 points down after 10 minutes. And as we go into the final 10 minutes, they now lead, and Hayward to Sarto. And the try is scored. They have their second of the evening, came back in beautifully, showed the experience, and after Benvenuti had butchered an opportunity, Sarto does no such thing. Well, well, it's game on. Conversion to come. Well, what about that for Leonardo Sarto and Munster? Well, they have some work to do now in the final, what will be 7 or so minutes when this game restarts. Will it be a 1-point game? Will it be a 3-point game? The conversion will give us the answer to that, and it stays at just the 1 point. Difficult conversion for Allen. Can't find his range, but that try from Leonardo Sarto gives Benetton a 1-point lead. Unthinkable if you watch the opening 10 minutes of this match. So then, where to from here in a game that looked like it was done after 10 minutes? And here we are with 6.5 or so to go, and it could go either way. And Munster will look back and wonder how they got themselves into this position, but in this position they are. And a team that have only lost 2 games in the Guinness Pro 14 this season, losing to Leinster, losing to Ulster. They have 8 wins, and yes, there are 13 changes, but there's lots of experience, lots of ability in this Munster side. And having started so well, they simply went off the pace. They didn't have the accuracy. They've gone to sleep at times, and they now find themselves in a position that no one really saw coming into this game. If ever there was one where you felt tick it and move on, it was this game, based on what we had seen before. And it still might turn out that way for Munster, but they've been given one hell of a fright, and they've got to find a way of turning it back in their favour. Snyman, pass gets away, and you know Allen just wants to play the game deep inside Munster territory. If they're going to do it, tell them to do it from all the way back there. Here's Goggin. Haley. Is that one going to go out on the full? It might have, and he was outside the 22, but Benetton play it, and he's Hayward. And they'll do this for the next 5 minutes and do it happily, if that's what Munster want to do. And they'll play kick tennis. And that one just about stays in field. Hanrahan. Munster going to have to do something other than play kick tennis. Mike Haley gets drawn into a couple of defenders, did well to get around the outside and get a bit of forward momentum. Here's O'Byrne. McCarthy. Lockman. McCarthy again. Hanrahan and Goggin and O'Donoghue, and into the Benetton half they go with just over 4 minutes left on the clock. Billy Holland. Munster have been in many a tight scrape and have found a way out, but they're in it again, and that one is rightfully penalised, and Benetton celebrate like that might be the moment, and Rosa is the one who seems to be getting the congratulations, and the second row has been everywhere, along with Brex, the two standout players for me in this game. The second row, Rosa, the centre, Brex, and Munster brought it in, didn't protect it, and they have the penalty. And Scotterby just says to those around him, we still have a job to do. But Benetton are where they want to be, ahead on the scoreboard, the clock ticking against their opponents, and inside that Munster 22 with the throw to the line out. It's about game management from here. Can they do it? Can they find their first win of the Guinness Pro 14 season against the conference leaders? Els and Munster through Holland, I think. Need to confirm that one, but they've won the line out. That doesn't need confirmation. And McCarthy kicks downfield. Benetton can't win their own ball, but Sarto goes a long way to securing possession with a terrific field. Petrozzi. Where's this one off to? Into touch it goes. It's JJ Hanrahan.
Option.
Into Hanrahan and into touch, and it was knocked forward before it went into touch, so the referee offering Benetton the option of a scrum or a line out, and the clock is stopped. And it'll be Benetton ball, and having lost the line out inside the Munster 22, they have another opportunity to hold on to possession. Well, Benetton, through Rosa, through Brex, through the captain Barbini, done a terrific job of finding their way back into this game, and Munster have helped them, no doubt about that, by not seeing home that advantage, not being fully tuned in and fully engaged. But Benetton still had to do it, and haven't they done it well? And with 2.5 minutes left on the clock, they're in pole position.
Time back on. Shoulder. Shoulder, shoulder. Thank you. Crouch. Boy. Set.
Petrozzi wants to feed it, but it's not steady, and the clock will tick on, and Benetton won't mind one jot.
This side black, that side green, okay? You move this side green and this side black. Wait for the ball, okay? Second. Shoulder. Crouch. Bind. Set.
Petrozzi's feed, and Allen and Munster come tearing up, but the out half holds onto the ball and holds on to possession, and Benetton crash into the Munster 22, and it's still there for them. And you look at the clock, every moment it's ticking against Munster, and Benetton are believing in themselves. This is a side that was rocked by Zebre in 2 derby matches just after Christmas. They lost at home, they lost away, they've lost in their home ground on every occasion they've played, in every competition since December 2019. And with 45 seconds left in this game, they lead the conference champions. But Munster,
isolating number 7 on the ball.
Well, they're never beaten until that final whistle, and they will get another roll of the dice. And JJ Hanrahan will look to get every yard out of this, because when it goes back in from the line out, it'll be the last passage of play. On big occasions,
Green on the line.
on lesser occasions, Munster have found ways of digging games out with the final play.
10.
They're going to need to do it again.
Mo!
Taken by Ahern, and Munster go to the maul. And Benetton, with everything they've got, will defend this, but Munster march on for another yard or two, and further they go.
Don't change. No.
And McCarthy looks, have we got a penalty, he asks the referee. And there isn't one coming, but they still go forward. And the ball's available, and there's no penalty there, so Munster will have to do it as up come Benetton to smash them backwards.
Stay on side, Green.
A penalty will do them, that's all they need. McCarthy, Ahern, Allen with the tackle.
No, off feet, Green, thank you.
McCarthy once more, O'Byrne. Scrum half, finds Dale Ande. Tackle is made on him. Benetton almost afraid to compete for fear of giving away the penalty. Coombs, the latest to carry. Now it's O'Donnell. Ball presented perfectly for the scrum half. O'Byrne then to carry. Munster inch ever closer to that Benetton 22. 1.5 minutes into additional time. The ball was there. Back in the pocket is Hanrahan. Drop it goal to win it. Would you believe it? Would you believe that? The final play of the game, and Munster so often find a way. JJ Hanrahan stands up and delivers, and Benetton hearts are broken once more. What a finish to the game. You have to feel for Benetton, but what guts, and in the end what glory from JJ Hanrahan to claim the win in what was a terrific encounter. Benetton nervous about giving away the penalty, and it just gave Hanrahan the opportunity to sit back in the pocket, but it was still a big ask, and boy did he deliver. Munster, having looked like they won it in the opening 10 minutes at a canter, steal it at the death in additional time. The full-time score, Benetton 16, Munster 18.
Marco, congratulations for your man of the match. How you feel?
Non rispondere in italiano.
No,
In inglese, I really suck. Finish like this is not what we wanted, what we trained for. Hard luck after what we've been through. We thought that we had the game in our hands, but it didn't go our way. So we have to be positive because we've shown we can play. Obviously, we have to put.
Exactly what I heard from your words, but a match rebuilt really slowly and with a lot of attention to the details.
Rebuild because in the first 20 minutes we gave away easy tries. That's what's going on, and playing against Munster, one of the best teams in the competition. If you give 2 tries in the first 20 minutes easy with no fatiga, it's difficult to rebuild, but we did it. So we have the guts to come back on a hard game, but we cannot let it get out our hands in the last minutes because we had in control in that 22 and it were a stupid penalty where we were in control. So it's our fault and we have to take it and blame ourselves.
One word for your changing room. What you can say now to your guys?
We have another week off now, so we can watch the game and learn from a better team now. But we have to watch on ourselves and see what we didn't do right, because as we can see throughout the year, it's our mistakes that made the other team better than us, not their entire strength. So we are doing all the work and we are not getting the points we need.
Grazie Marco.
Right.
Tries in the first half, so really hard game during the last minutes. What gave the victory to Munster tonight?
I think we started really well, as you said, and we played some really good rugby in the first 20 minutes, but we stopped playing. We let Treviso into the game, and they're a really good side with ball in hand. Their offloading game, their attack game is excellent, and we struggled to deal with that for the following 60 minutes. And I think it was a lot of resilience and guts, having played poorly at times, to get a penalty, go up the pitch and get a drop goal. It was a fantastic drop goal from JJ. So some really good rugby to start with, some very poor rugby. We were inaccurate at the breakdown at times, but I think all credit to Treviso. They really took it to us, and I think we stole that one at the end.
Thank you very much, and good luck for your next. Thank you.